keys to making your long distance relationship thrive. Hello, my dears. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm talking about relationships, and this time it's about long distance relationships. Are you in a long distance relationship, or you're contemplating in diving into one, or you're planning to be in a long distance relationship? If you're in any of these circumstances, please hang on, hang in there, because I'm going to help you to give you 5 key ways in which you can thrive in your long distance relationship and end up making it work. Without further ado, let's dive into it. The first key is communication. I know some people will say, of course, no, this is so easy to know, because being in a long distance relationship, you obviously always be in communication with your partner. But the communication between you and your partner, how does it work? How do you plan in being in constant communication with your partner? What's their mode or style of communication? In a long distance relationship, every long distance relationship, communication must be of top priority. It sounds like common sense, right? But that's it. Well, you need to discuss the mode of communication, the means of communication, the time of communication. You need to discuss this with your partner. It has to be some sort of a mutual agreement between you and your partner. When you have to call each other, what time, like your partner needs to know your program, your routine, your daily routine. Your partner needs to be abreast with your daily routine. Know when you've got your break, when you wake up, when you're coming back from work. Your partner needs to know everything about that. And you also need to make your expectations known to your partner, because sometimes maybe you prefer for your partner to call you just when you wake up and when you're going to bed. Or sometimes you might want your partner to call you when it's break time. So you need to communicate this with your partner, and you have to make all your expectations clear and make sure these expectations are understood by your partner, because any misunderstanding can lead to a problem, a big issue in your relationship. Point number 2, you need to mutually create structure for your relationship. Of course, it's a long distance relationship, but when do you plan to meet? What do you plan to do at what time? What? So you need to make like a structure for the relationship. Okay, we are going to do this long distance thing for 2 months, for 3 months, for a year, for 2 years. You need to make your partner know. You need to mutually agree to make to be in a long distance relationship for the amount of time, for a certain amount of time. Because if you don't agree and you're just there in a relationship like long distance, one person is in the other part of the world and the other person is in the other part of the world, or is in another state and the other is in another state, you will just be in floating and just be living on expectations without letting your partner to understand your expectations for the relationship. Because your partner needs to know, you must mutually agree that we have to do this at this time. We need to move to this stage at this time. So it has to be something that is jointly agreed upon. So any relationship without a structure is heading for the cliff, and it won't last. It will never last. But talking about a long distance relationship, in most cases, this is someone you've never met, and you've never met, and the person lives in another part of the world and you live in another part of the world. The only time you both talk to each other, the only time you both connect is when you communicate, when you talk to each other on phone, when you talk on phone. That's the only time you communicate. That's the only time you connect. So in order for the relationship to work, it has to have a structure. You need to talk about when, for how long you're going to be together in this long distance arrangement, and for how long you're going to meet physically, like finding a way to meet this person physically. Because having a structure in place makes waiting for the next visit a whole lot easier. Point number 3, embrace spontaneity. Like, be spontaneous in the relationship, because even in a long distance relationship, you can still surprise your partner. Why structure is essential, so is spontaneity. Sometimes you've got to break that routine in a very good way. Surprise your partner with unexpected calls, with gifts, with messages, and even an unplanned visit if the circumstances allow, Like for instance, your partner might be surprised with a bouquet of flowers and with a note in that bouquet of flowers. Because nowadays there are services that can do that for you. You can just call them and then you make an arrangement for them to deliver a bouquet of flower to your partner in their office or at their home or maybe somewhere in some place. And if they get this bouquet of flowers with a note, maybe a lovely note, talking a romantic note, this is going to make them feel good, and they're going to feel connected to you. And that's very important. That's so super important in a relationship. So please be spontaneous. Always try to do something that is not your normal routine. Like sometimes maybe your partner is someone who prefers to be called when he or she is in their break time or after work or are going to bed. Don't call them at that time. Just try to call them some other time. Maybe you just wake them up from sleep, maybe at 4 a.m. early in the morning. Just wake them up from sleep. That will be a pleasant surprise. Trust me, it's gonna be a pleasant surprise for your partner. Try to do something out of the ordinary. Point number 4, have a clear plan. Every relationship, even a normal relationship, needs to have a clear plan. Discuss your end game. You need to discuss, like you need to ask your partner, okay, how is this going to end? What do we want from this long distance relationship? When will this long distance path end? When? Where do you see the relationship going? In maybe 2 months, 3 months, in 5 months, in 6 months? Where do you see this relationship going? Having a clear picture of your future together helps alleviate doubts and keeps you both motivated. Because if you're in a long distance relationship, of course, maybe you're planning to take it to the next level, get engaged or get married. So what's the plan? How do you all want it to end? Because there is no need being in a long distance relationship that will not end in something serious, maybe in engagement or in marriage. So you need to ask your partner, you both need to be clear on this. You need to have a clear plan on where the relationship is going, where it's going to end, what's the next stage of the relationship, and how you want it to be, how you want the relationship to end. So you need to know that. Point number 5, you need to have clear and defined boundaries. Boundaries. Yes, you need to have boundaries. Just because you are far apart doesn't mean you should let things slide. Because so many people, let's say for instance, like the guy, he lives in another town and then he's with his friends. They want to go out on a date. They want to go out and have like some fun time. Of course, they go to the club. They go to this club and they meet some girls. Of course, they're going to drink and they will get like dance with some girls in the club. That's an opportunity to meet new girls. But then, if you're in a long distance relationship and you're keeping someone in another side of the world, in another part of the town, in another state in the country, you need to bear in mind that you need to set boundaries. You need to preserve yourself for your partner, the person you're planning to be with. So you shouldn't go and you shouldn't be flirting or be with other girls, other females, or on the other hand, the same for the female. She shouldn't be going out with the girls to the club and feeling free with other guys. So you need to set these boundaries because things can slide just like that. Let's say for instance, you go to the club, you get drunk, and then the next day you find yourself in bed with someone else who is not your partner. What's that going to do? It's going to break your relationship down, and that can affect your relationship because your partner is not there in the same town with you. It doesn't live in the same place with you. And of course, we are humans. You can end up breaking the long distance relationship and starting a real relationship with the person you've just met because you say, okay, why not? This person, we are in the same town, and why would I be waiting for someone who lives really like miles away from me, lives so far away from me? Why should I wait for this person. I need to move on. I need to live my life. So set the boundaries if you really, really care about the person with whom you are in a long distance relationship. And if you've got a clear plan for the long distance relationship, trust me, you're going to wait for your partner, because you know you've set the periods, and you set the time plan for the long distance, and you all know when the long distance is going to end, and you are in constant communication and are mutually on the same level with each other, with your partner. So you will never break the boundaries. You need to create these solid boundaries. You need to create clear and solid boundaries. Yes, you can go out, of course, with your friends. It doesn't mean that if you're in a long distance relationship, you shouldn't like socialize. You shouldn't go out with your friends. Yes, you have to go. You can go if you have to go, but you need to make sure that you communicate with your partner to tell them where you are, where you are going to, and with whom you're going out with. And you also need to always make sure that you set the boundaries. You set these clear and solid boundaries, because you know that you owe allegiance to someone to someone, your partner, in your long distance relationship. So with all this, I hope that these 5 points will help you who is in a long distance relationship, or you who is planning to be in a long distance relationship, or who is contemplating in being in a long distance relationship. Of course, if you practice these 5 steps, it might help you to end up marrying your partner, or being in a long lasting relationship with your partner. But being in a long distance relationship is also another form of relationship. It's not a bad thing, it's another form of relationship. But if you play it right, it's gonna end right. Until next time, if you saw this video, if you feel that this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, see you all. Bye.